Have you ever had a crazy busy day and thought, wow, I got so much done, but at the same time, you feel like you're running in circles, not actually getting anywhere. Maybe your to-do list is packed, your calendar is full, and yet deep down you wonder, is this what life is really supposed to feel like? If you've ever felt stuck in the hustle, like you're doing a lot, but not really living, you're not alone. Somewhere along the way, we've been conditioned to believe that being busy is the same as being successful, and it's not. The more we do, the more valuable we believe we are, but it's a flawed thought. It's a lie. What if busyness is actually the biggest distraction from living the life that you were meant for? And today I'm going to help you break free and even just question a few things here. We're going to talk about breaking free from the cycle of busyness and stepping into something bigger, something better. We're going to talk about why so many people get stuck in the trap of always being on the go, and some key shifts that will help you shift and live more intentionally, so that actually I'm going to help you today redefine success so that your life feels expansive, not exhausting. So if you're tired of feeling overwhelmed, if you're ready to stop filling your days and actually fulfilling your purpose, this episode is for you. Hey there, I'm Trish Blackwell, and you're listening to the Confidence Podcast. This is episode number 639, How to Live a Big Life, Not a Busy One. I am really excited about helping you talk and think today about not filling your days, but rather fulfilling your purpose and living big, not busy. And I can speak to this because this has been the work of my life the last 10 years of really getting out of that exhausted state of being that was all that I knew. As a high achieving, type A, go after my big dreams, do, massively proactive, productive person, it's very easy to drink the Kool-Aid that the more I do, then the further along I will get. However, it is not true. I found myself exhausted, overwhelmed, and more importantly, unfulfilled. And I looked back, I think having children, my daughter's about to turn 10, my oldest, and I think there was this really pivotal point 10 years ago when I realized, do I want people to say at the end of my life, do I want my children, do I want my friends, do I want the people that I know to say, oh, we love Trish, she was great, she's just always busy. Like when I look back and I'm not here to advocate for myself and people are remembering my legacy, I don't want them to say, wow, she worked a lot. Oh, she was good being productive. For me, that's not a fulfilling or meaningful life. I want them to say, wow, she was expansive. Wow, she was adventurous. Wow, she was loving. Wow, she was present. Wow, she was bold. Wow, she was available. Man, she lived a big life. She squeezed out the juice of life. She used everything that God gave her to the fullest. And to me, that's a big life. You know, I was really convicted on this concept of I'm very good at staying busy. Am I good at living well? Now, this actually whole topic was requested by a listener, Anna. She said on Instagram, hey, I hope you're doing well. Thank you for all that you do. And she said, I believe in my big life and it's full of so many blessings, but how do I not get caught up in the busyness of life and then still make my life big every day? Since you asked for suggestions, I think this could be a really good topic to unravel. I hope to hear from you. Hope you do it. Absolutely. What a great topic, because we can talk all that we want. Dream big, think big, do big. Well, how do we not get tripped up by busy? And I think it comes down to asking yourself, what do you want in your life? You know, Steve Jobs says, your time is limited, so don't waste it living someone else's life. There's a lot of us that live other people's lives. We do what people tell us to do or what we think the right path is. And I just want you to ask yourself, like, what is it, as Mary Oliver says, what is it that I want to do with my one wild and precious life? Katharine Hepburn said, if you obey all the rules, you miss all the fun. You see, as a rule follower by nature myself, I lived a busy life because I thought I had to. I thought in order to do the things that I wanted, I had to follow a very set path. And honestly, entrepreneurship took me on a roller coaster of a detour that taught me that kicking the status quo in its teeth, turning what I thought I needed to do on its head was actually freeing. There's an inner freedom that comes to saying and questioning, what if I don't have to follow the rules? What if I get to design my own life, make my own rules? And so my first question for you to start thinking about is, are you building a big life or just a busy one? Would people who know you describe you as busy or as expansive? More than anything, I think we're driven by this cultural misconception. It's a cultural narrative that says more is better. Success is a destination. I don't think success is a destination. I think that it's an expansiveness is a destination. I want to be who God created me to be more and more every day. So I'm expanding the capacity that I believe is God-breathed and God-given inside of me. So I'm less interested in achieving. Now, this is so against like what I believed for 20 years. I've had to really rewire my thought patterns, my beliefs. But I got to tell you, this school of thought is so invigorating, so freeing. It's so expansive because there's no destination. There's no pressure. There's this every day. Hey, what did I do well? What can I do better? What will I do differently? It's filled and overflowing with abundance and opportunity, not fear, lack, pressure, or I hope I get there. So first, in general, let's just define busy versus big. A busy life is checking the boxes, saying yes to everything, being overwhelmed, following the rules without questioning them, doing too much, stretching yourself thin, burning the candle at both ends. Now, by the way, there is also a season. If you're in a season where you're maybe in law school and you're also working a job, and I'm okay with seasons of burning the candle at both ends. Right now in snowboard season, you guys, honestly, I'm doing that a little bit. Like I've got some recharging that's happening, but it's such a high priority and such a short window that I'm willing to maximize and do a little bit more than I typically would do. So seasonal doing too much is if it's intentional and designed and allows for rest after. That's not being busy. That's intentionally designing a season. So, but then we go to what is a big life? Now, this is where it gets fun. You get to decide. A big life, if we think about a simple definition, is intentional, fulfilling, adventurous on your terms. By the way, my adventurous doesn't have to do anything with yours. You might go, like, for me, adventurous is traveling the world with my small children. It's learning languages. It's taking risks in my business. It's learning how to play ice hockey at 41. I'm considering competing in snowboarding next year. And it's just, for me, it's a willingness to do new things, to try new things, to take physical risks. I want to go get dropped off in a helicopter and snowboard down, the backcountry. But that doesn't have to do anything to do with your level of adventure. Your adventureness and adventure is on your own terms. I think a big life also is deeply connected. It's driven, I'm going to say this, and before I even say it, I feel it wash peace over me and inspiration. A big life is driven by purpose, not obligation. The way I interact with my children when I'm spending one-on-one time with them, it's so purpose-filled. I so delight in them. They're so interesting to me. They're so different. And for those of you who are parents out there, if you are a child or all children, if you have a parental relationship that was really life-giving and open, you'll know what this feels like. You just enjoy the company of this person so deeply, so intimately. You delight. I delight in my children and conversations with them, but not rushed conversations. It's quality conversations. So I'm driven by the desire to connect with them, to get to know them, to spend time with them, because they're 7 and 9 now, but they're going to be out of the house soon. I mean, before I know it, before I blink, they're going to be in college. And so I'm not spending quality time with them, taking them snowboarding, reading books together, walking the dog in the snow. Ellie and I had this glorious winter wonderland walk yesterday. And just small talk and big thinking and ideas. I'm not doing that to check the box and say, did I spend time with my children today? I'm doing it out of pure love, delight, purpose, deeper fulfillment. And so a big life is intentional. It's designed. And so my question that I hope that you pause today's episode for, or at least that you take a note of, is what does success, adventure, and happiness really mean to you? What does a big life look like for you? And here's why. Once you can define or get inspired and have a vision of what a big life looks like, it's easier to say no to a busy life. Without knowing what you want, you're going to keep getting pulled into busy. A big life and knowing what you want gives you priorities, gives you vision. This is why when I teach the pillars of confidence, one of the core pillars of confidence is you have to know what you want. When you know what you want and you have clarity on what matters to you, you have a North Star. You are able to build a life around very clear knowledge of what's going to pull you up versus push you in a certain way. I would so much rather be pulled than pushed and pressured. So why do we stay busy? I think for a variety of reasons. One, there's a people-pleasing element to it. We have a hard time saying no to people. We say yes to things we don't actually want to do. We overcommit. We have insecurity about our role in the workplace or what we're doing. And so we allow boundaries to blend because we think, well, hopefully my boss will like me more. They'll be more proud of me. I will be more secure if I overextend myself. A lot of rule following. We believe success comes from following a set path, or we don't have a North Star. We don't know what we want. So therefore we flounder and we just stay busy with what we have ahead of us. Another reason we stay busy is we don't question what we want or question that we don't have to live at the pace of life or the pace of our modern culture. As I said when we opened today's episode, this has been a deep, deep, deep challenge for me. I like things fast. I run almost everywhere I can get. I maximize. I love maximization. I'm a time maximizer to the epitome. But there's a cost to it to an extreme. It's not healthy. I'm looking in my own life and my strengths and saying, what's the healthy expression of maximizing my time? And what's the unhealthy? And the healthy is to maximize when it matters, but also know how to unplug and be present in the other times so that I can maximize and be fully energized. And so questioning ourselves, we stay busy when we don't question, do I have to stay this busy? And I think sometimes even having the courage to question, why am I staying so busy? What am I afraid of? Is there anything I'm avoiding? Because for me, I had a fear of slowing down. I equated stillness with laziness or lack of ambition. And rather than, I started over-actioning in my life. And it felt frantic, it felt messy, and it was. So I want to challenge you to question the rules that you've been taught. Maybe they've served you up to a certain point, but maybe it's time to say, I don't have to follow the same rules. And I want you to reflect on, why do I stay so busy? Am I really afraid of slowing down? What would it mean if I didn't do as much? What would it mean if I didn't volunteer on every parent board that was available? If I wasn't at every opportunity that I could do for, said thing? And what does it mean? What does a beautiful, big life mean to me? And a big life might mean, I have a list here, traveling to new places, new or far, trying new activities, horseback riding, surfing, hiking, snowboarding. I'm always going to throw out snowboarding and hockey out there. Spontaneous road trips, living in a different country, learning a new language, saying yes to experiences that scare you a little bit, writing a book, exploring nature, being in the mountains, beaches, forests, seeing the world through the eyes of curiosity. It might be, a big life might be for you more personal growth based and learning based, of reading books that challenge your thinking, learning a new skill like coding or photography or dance, pushing past your comfort zone daily, redefining your relationship with failure, asking better questions, being more self-reflective, seeking mentors and role models, becoming a mentor and role model, journaling your thoughts, your wins, your transformations. Now, a big life can also be seen and intentionally built and designed in relationships and connection. So surrounding yourself with people who inspire you and lift you up, having deep and meaning conversations regularly, creating family traditions or with friends or with family, making time for people even when life is full, being available, having deep conversations, loving generously, prioritizing quality time over quantity, choosing community over isolation. Now, it could be also a big life is expressed through purpose and work and intention. It could be doing work that aligns with your values or a bigger impact, creating something meaningful, a book, a business, a charity, a nonprofit, volunteering or giving back in ways that light you up, helping others grow and succeed. This is for me, I feel like the greatest, aside from being a mother, the greatest privilege of my life is to watch you succeed, watch you grow, watch you see breakthroughs, watch chains be broken, healing happen, your life changed by a thought, new belief inspiring, whether you're a podcast listener, you work with me in the College of Confidence, you're a one-on-one client, the transformation that I hear happen in your lives just gives my life I feel so big. And I remember when I started this podcast, I said, and we have millions of downloads, and I committed to it consistently, even when I didn't know if anybody would ever listen, even when no one knew who I was, even when I barely knew what I was saying. I made a promise to myself, I will show up if I have one person listening in the same way I will show up if there's a million. Because every number is a name, every name has a story, and every story matters. So understanding you can also design bigness in leaving a legacy beyond just material success, knowing you made an impact in the world, living in alignment with your faith, with your spiritual values. You can also design a big life and live big in your lifestyle design. And maybe it's you designed a life where you work 4 days a week. And before you say, Trish, not all of us are entrepreneurs, there are a lot of companies, there are a lot of government agencies that allow you to work 4/10s. Like getting creative in what do I want my life design to look like? Creating a life where Monday doesn't feel different from Saturday, where you actually love your life. Maybe it's life design of having financial freedom and new financial disciplines that allows for choices, that allows for travel, that allows for generous gift giving, that allows you to support your family, extended family, that allows you to invest in new levels of education or mentorship for yourself, or maybe that allows you to retire early. But being intentional about what and who you say yes to in your life design and what you want your life to feel like. Choosing time over money when possible. For me, a big life is a life where I always have time for the people I love, where I always have time to walk the dog, where I always have time to go for a run or take care of myself in the way that I enjoy. A big life is there's so many ways to live a big life. You can even live big lives in the way you manage your well-being and your energy, doing activities that make you feel alive, not just productive. My original mentor, when I started this work, he said, do what makes your soul sing. Design a life that allows you to do what makes your soul sing, whether that's art, whether it's drawing, whether it's baking. For me, it's language and words and reading and writing stories, dancing in your kitchen, singing loudly in the car, sending thoughtful texts to people that you love, being enthusiastic, snowboarding, playing ice hockey, going for walks in the woods. Do what makes you come alive. Here's the key. A big life isn't about doing more. It's not even about it's not more. I mean, we could say a big life must mean big bank account, big travel. Not necessarily. It's about doing more of what matters to you. And so we have to know what matters to you to get there. Now, why do most of us get distracted? Well, we already talked about not knowing what you want. But also other common pitfalls of a busy life that are making us fall into this, let's just think of it as a sinkhole of busyness, is we say yes to everything. We prioritize urgency over impact or urgency. We have preferences to get it all done versus our priorities. We equate hustle with success. The more you do does not mean that you will be happier, more fulfilled, or more successful. Lack of clear vision. We avoid rest and reflection. We're afraid to say no. We live on autopilot without reflecting and asking ourselves questions and challenging. Do I like my life? Do I like my habits? Do I want to change something? And we tie worth to productivity. And listen, I've had a lot of undoing of this in my own life. I've had to relearn how I define productivity. And I'd really change it, but I don't want to just be productive. I want to live intentionally. I want a beautiful work ethic and a beautiful life ethic. I want to live beautifully. I have been in the pursuit of what does it look like to live beautifully today. I asked myself that. In fact, today here in Virginia, we got 6.5 inches of snow last night, which is just delightful and glorious for me who loves snow. I love walking my dog on the snow. I love watching my children build snowmen. I love snowball fights. I love it all. And I love that my local mountain now has some fresh powder that I'm going to go hit tomorrow. And so I looked at and my kids are also home from school, which I love and I don't love because I have a lot to do today. So when I looked at my productivity list and my priorities, I asked myself, what would make today beautiful? How will I live? How will I work? How will I love? How will I be a wife? How will I be a mother in a way today that feels beautiful? And it's a fine balance of what does it look like to live beautifully? And I love asking myself, because that's not just getting everything on my to-do list done. It's also baking sugar cookies. We're making peppermint sugar cookies. It's going for the run that I want and listening to the new book I'm listening to. It's spending quality time with my husband while we do some goals today. It's walking in the snow and watching my Irish Terrier, who has a little beard, watching the snow get stuck in clumps. It's just so cute. Like hot chocolate and recording this podcast and working on the 5 things of my business that I don't really feel like doing today, but I do because I value it and I prioritize it. Now I do feel like doing this, don't get me wrong, but I just show up. I don't overthink and I say, it will be beautiful to be productive and it's going to be beautiful to be present. And I'm going to do both. When it comes down to your own habits, I want you to realize that the more time you spend designing a bigger life, the more you know what you want, you start practicing it, the sooner you will access it. I don't want you to just think about today's episode. I want you to think and go, what is it that I want? What would my dream life look like? What do I want it to feel like? And where am I sabotaging the potential big life I have because I'm so busy that I can't do the changes I want? I'm too busy to journal. I'm too busy to reflect. I'm too busy to join the College of Confidence, because if you're always busy, you will never get the breakthrough. If you want something to change, you got to change something. And often we have to change our busyness. So we tap into that inner rebel and say, I don't have to be so busy. Prioritize meaning over productivity. Start saying no. And you can even start practicing daily, like little micro adventures. I want you to ask yourself daily, am I choosing fullness or am I just filling my time? And I want you to do this too. I want you to make what we're going to air quote call a big life decision every single day, meaning do something today that brings you joy, connection, or adventure. Or simply, you could use the question I used today, what would make today beautiful? I want you to let go of the shoulds and the obligations and anything that drains you. And stop wasting your energy trying to control other people. That's another reason we stay busy trying to control all the things, or commenting or looking at gossip or scrolling. Let us stop living other people's lives and instead spend that energy, that focus, living and designing our own. I got to tell you, having done both ways, this way is so much more fun. It's so much more fulfilling. It's so much more life-giving. I hope you're encouraged. And I want you to know, When I was convicted of busyness, it was a challenge. And I'm still working proactively on it. I practice the art of living slow. I've said no, learned to say no to more things. I study the pace of Jesus. That's, as a follower of Jesus, I study his pace and I look like, wow, he never rushed. He was never stressed. It's interesting. There was a pace and a rhythm that's very different than our modern culture. So, power phrase pyramids. I like to give you guys some power phrases. These are some statements and proclamations you can say. I don't exist to be busy. I break the rules that don't serve me any longer. And the ones I have for you are I define success on my own terms. Our next one is I make space for what truly matters and for what I want. And I choose a big life, not just a full calendar. I'm going to say that one again. I choose a big life, not just a full calendar. And by the way, when you say no, we have to be okay knowing that when we say no to some things on our calendar, it's okay that other people might be disappointed. Let them. It's okay. I'm interested in how you're designing your life, not how you're worried about protecting the emotions and opinions of others. We can't control what other people think, so we can let that go and focus on designing this beautiful, one precious, wild life that God gave you. If this is resonating and you go, I like all this, but Trish, I don't know how to design my life. I have an entire course in the College of Confidence it's a workshop and it is robust and amazing. It has everything you need. It's in the College of Confidence. It's called Deliberate Daily Design. It is designing your life, and I walk you step by step on how to design your life based on we're taking what we talk about here and expanding it. I've got worksheets for you. I've got the step-by-step process. When you join my group coaching program, the College of Confidence, you get immediate access. I will personally direct you to how to find that specific course. And it's cancel at any time. And if you join to just get access to that, but it doesn't absolutely exceed your expectations and blow your mind, email me, email my team. We will 100% refund you. That is how confident I am that this is a tool that everyone needs. You can go find out more at collegeofconfidence.com. That will get you access. But behind the gates in the student portal, the deliberate daily design, how to design your dream life, and all the resources you need are right there. Other episodes, if this concept is still inspiring you, I want you to go check out episode 570, how to start your big dream and change your life, and also how I got to where I am. If you're ever curious about that background story, we have episode 577, how to live your dream life, 5 mistakes that most people make. And then also more recently, episode 611, designing your dream life and believing it can actually happen. I believe in you. I know you have massive capacity within inside you. And I want to speak this over you today. The best is yet to come. Life is only going to get better and better as long as you decide that it is right now. We don't have to hope that our life turns out great. We can design it on purpose. Live proactively, intentionally by design instead of by default. And that is where we'll go from living a filled schedule to a fulfilling life. Go out there today. Go be more of who God created you to be. Be you. Be free.